let's get started. Do you want to read this one?
Yeah, sure. I'm the question reader today.
Yeah, why not?
All right. So Kylie Crossgrave, let me start again. Kylie Crossgrave on YouTube asked, "Hello, how does the dock campsite pass work? From my research, I understand you pay a pass and can get a discounted camp fees at some dock managed sites. Is this correct? There doesn't seem to be a lot of information available on this. We are hiring a self-contained camper van. Any advice is really greatly appreciated."
Greatly appreciated.
Yes. Okay, so just so you guys know what DOC is, that is the Department of Conservation in New Zealand, and this is like the government organisation that actually helps run and maintain some of the campsites and walking trails around New Zealand. So just to make sure you guys know what we're talking about when we say DOC. Do you want to go through what the DOC pass is all about?
All right, so Laura will be able to show it to you in a second, but let's get started about the dock pass. So the dock pass is basically a weekly pass that you can purchase from the car company. No, I did say it perfectly before, I'm just saying.
Sorry.
So you can get that from the the camper van rental company, and you'll be able to purchase it, and you will get basically discounted accommodation in dock or Department of Conservation campsite. Now, there are a lot of confusions about this thing. So first up, let's get started. How do you get one? When you rent your car rental, your camper van, I have to stop saying car. When you rent your camper van, you can actually ask for those from selected companies. There is a bunch of companies that work with the dock to prepare those things. That include Juicy and a few others. For example, Juicy was the first one that came to my mind. Now, at this point, they will give you this little thing right here, which is a sticker, or not really a sticker, it's actually a piece of cardboard. And on there, you're gonna actually add a few information from the start date, the end date, the vehicle registration, the number of passenger inside, both adults and children. Each of those have a specific numbers on them, and that will allow the rangers to see that this camper van basically already has paid for this accommodation for the campsite. Now, the first thing I want to put up is that when it says you can save up to 50% per night and everything, that is not the case. It's a very misleading way to explain how that works. There is no discount or anything like that. When you pay for the pass, this pays for your accommodation. So it's very misleading. So that's why I kind of said, okay, I'm going to do a full video about that, and I'm going to kind of explain how that works. So when you pick up your camper van from, let's say, Juicy, and it's a self-contained camper van, you have the options to get yourself that pass. You can pay, and let me get started. $25 if you are one passenger, $50 if you are two passengers, and $75 if you are a family of one adult and one or two kids. Sorry. Now, once you pay that fee, you have access to a selected amount of dock campsites, and I'll get back to that a little bit later, for free. You paid that fee. This is the cost of what it costs you to stay in those campsites. So you do not have to pay extra after that. Once this paperwork is filled up, there is the start date and all of that, and you have 7 consecutive days, which means 7 days in a row, to use the selected named campsites for 7 days every single night. So you have this little piece of cardboard, you put it on your dashboard facing up so people from the outside of the vehicle can see it, and you drive to your campsite, you stay there. There is no extra paperwork or anything like that to do. You don't have to pay, you don't have to register, nothing. You just park and you are sorted. Now, for the 7 consecutive days, I just want to make that very clear that you cannot just travel 3 days, then stay in a city for about 5 days, and then do an extra 4 days of campsite. It doesn't work that way. Let's say you start on the 1st of the month, it expires on the 7th of the month, and that is it. If you haven't used it 7 times, it's on you. Now, speaking about using it, you are probably not going to use it 7 times, because when you travel with a self-contained camper van, you usually need to recharge all the batteries, you need to empty the gray and the black water tanks, which is basically the waste tanks in your camper van that can't hold it for that long. So usually when you buy a 7-day pass, you probably will be using only for 5 to 6 nights at the most. Now, it still is a bargain. I mean, if you think about it, you know, $50 for 2 people for 6 nights in the campsite is still cheap, as they say here. So it's still really, really cheap, but I just want you to get a little bit more information about that. Now, about the campsites that you're going to be able to access. Now, on the Department of Conservation, there is a list of it. I already opened the tab for you, so I think you'll be able to show that. So there is a list. It's a really nice little map of New Zealand, and flip it around and show it. Yep, perfect. So there is a map of New Zealand right here where you can click and you have all the campsites that you have access to. So now you have to know that those campsites are the most basic campsites that the dock has to offer. So it's literally just a patch of grass. It's the non-service, non-powered campsite. It's literally just a bare bones basic. So for this reason, that's why I say that you're probably not going to be using it that much, because, well, you're going to need to refill the water in your, in your shower or in your tap. You're going to need to empty the tanks of grey and black water. You're going to need to plug the camper van to recharge all the batteries, and you can't do that in the campsite that you have access to. So that's why I was saying, like, you know, maybe you need to do like 3 days, and you need to recharge all the batteries and everything, and do another 3 days. And that's why, you know, this pass, when they say it's valid for 7 consecutive days, I personally think that it's valid most, you know, you probably use it for 6 days at the most, and that's basically it. Now, there is quite a few campsites that you have access to with this one, but it's not all of them. So make sure that you do check that, because you will get a fine if you do not pay to use a campsite that you haven't you haven't paid for. So even if you have that pass, but the campsite that you're staying at is not on the list, well, it still means that you haven't paid for your campsite. And the last question that we quite often get is that if you do get that discount weekly pass and everything, and you want to go to one of the campsites from the Department of Conservation, which is not on the list, do you get a discount? And the simple answer is no. You get no discount. You get basically a bundle of nights for a selected amount of campsite, and that is it. It doesn't allow you to anything else.
Yeah. So I think I just want to
for sure
say something.
I just wanted all the information there, and here you go.
So I think the best thing to do if you are considering, because like Robin said, it is quite a good deal, this pass. But I think if you are more of a planner, if you want to plan the exact campsites you're going to stay in, and bearing in mind that the most expensive campsites that you could be staying in are about $15 per person per night, which, you know, that does add up, definitely more than $50 if that's 2 people and you're staying there if you're staying in multiple campsites on your trip. I think it's definitely best, like, if you're a planner, make sure you plan which campsites you're going to, and that way you will be making a good saving. But if you are more of a sort of spontaneous type of traveler, then you might find yourself regretting getting that pass, because you might just find a different campsite that's just more convenient at the time, or you're drawn to somewhere else that, you know, the pass won't work at. So I think it really depends on what type of traveler you are. And that's
All right, cool. Well, I hope that you find this video super useful. We do have some articles about all those subjects on BackpackerGuide.NZ, so make sure to check the link in the description below, which are pointing you out in the right direction, so you get even more information than what we just gave you. And obviously, if you find this video, make sure to hit like and subscribe, because it does help us a lot, and we do those videos every single week.